and critically. With exciting stories, engaging activities, and real-life examples, learning English becomes interactive and meaningful. Whether you're in class or studying at home, the Nile English course supports your journey to becoming a confident communicator, because strong communication skills open doors in school and in life. Welcome to the Nile English course, your guide to mastering English in a fun and practical way. Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center, the Nile English course helps you to build strong skills in reading and understanding, writing with clarity, speaking with confidence, listening carefully and critically. With exciting stories, engaging activities, and real-life examples, learning English becomes interactive and meaningful. Whether you're in class or studying at home, the Nile English course supports your journey to becoming a confident communicator, because strong communication skills open doors in school and in life. Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on Register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts. Once logged in, you will have access to the downloadable materials and interactive content. The NCDC e-learning platform is designed to make curriculum access easier, faster, and more flexible for learners, teachers, and stakeholders across Uganda. By integrating technology into the curriculum delivery, NCDC is expanding access to quality education beyond the traditional classroom. Flexible, accessible, future-focused. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print. Did you know that some of the science equipment used in Ugandan schools is designed and produced right here at the National Curriculum Development Center, NCDC? We strengthen the practical teaching of science and technology across Uganda's education system by designing and producing local science and technology equipment using locally available materials whenever possible. This approach makes practical learning affordable, accessible, and sustainable for schools across the country. Science equipment requires maintenance. STEP provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. Learning science should never stop due to broken equipment. STEPD provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. The department also conducts in-service training for science teachers and technicians. They are trained in proper operation, safe handling, servicing and repair, safe storage of equipment. Empowering teachers means empowering learners. STEP carries out research and development in educational equipment design to ensure that Ugandan students gain access to relevant, appropriate, and practical science skills. Innovation begins with hands-on experience. The Curriculum Tree magazine shares curriculum reforms, research insights, innovations, and implementation updates across the education sector. Just like a tree with strong roots and growing branches, our curriculum reflects Uganda's values, learning areas, and the competencies we nurture in every learner. Through the Curriculum Tree magazine, teachers, school leaders, policymakers, and partners stay informed, engaged, and connected to the national curriculum development. We invite you to read, contribute, and grow with us.
Yes, good morning, colleagues who are on call. This morning, we are back for our session concerning the assessment guidelines for advanced secondary curriculum. Welcome to our very last day. For today, we are handling local languages first, followed by agriculture. Then in the afternoon sessions from 2 to 5 p.m., we'll be having foods and nutrition coming in, entrepreneurship, and submath in that order. Thank you so much. As we continue, please keep posting your questions in the chat on Zoom here, and then also on YouTube. Ensure that you comment and share your comments in as the presentations are going on. We will be able to respond to all the questions. Coming up is local languages. Thank you so much.
Good morning, colleagues online. My name is Okelo Silva, the specialist for local languages at Secondary Education Department. I welcome you to this sharing and presentation on the assessment guidelines for local languages at advanced secondary. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues online, our introduction for the assessment guidelines has been presented there. We have the assessment guidelines for local languages focuses on assessing learners' competency in local language use, literary creativity, and social cultural expression through So the introduction is focusing on the three constructs that we are yet to have. The three constructs which will actually be presented here. Next we have the topics that are in the syllabus for local languages, then constructs and assessment objectives. When you look at the syllabus, you're going to find the following topics. We have prose, poetry, novel and short story, then drama and theater. These topics form the construct literary creation, whereby we have the description below, evaluating and producing prose, poetry, and drama texts on emerging societal issues for edutainment. And this construct gives us the assessment objective, which is assessment objective 1, critically evaluate and produce literary texts on emerging societal issues. Then the next construct is on language use. And this construct is drawn from the topics we are seeing there. We have the local language orthography. We have grammar in the specific local language that is being actually offered at A level. Then you have sourcing for information, we have functional writing, then you have information transfer. These topics inform the construct which is language use. We have brought in orthography there because orthography is an issue in local languages. I would like the learners to get grounded with the rules of writing or the spelling system of their respective languages. The description for the construct is demonstrating language skills for effective communication in diverse situations. This forms the assessment objective, which is use local language skills effectively in different contexts. Then next is we have the topics that make up socio-cultural expressions. The first topic is prominent contributors to native language and culture. Then we have socio-cultural expression. In other words, there we should be having oral literature. We should be having aspects of folk tales. We should be having aspects of traditional and cultural practices that form what you're calling socio-cultural expression. In other words, we are looking at the ability of the learner to communicate the cultural and traditional aspects within their communities using their respective local languages. This gives us the assessment objective, which is communicate their traditional cultural practices, norms, beliefs, and values for cultural preservation. So the assessment papers for local languages. The local languages shall consist of 2 assessment papers. We shall have paper 1 and paper 2. Previously in the old curriculum we had 3 papers, but this time we have reduced to 2 papers. Paper 1 consists of items from local language use and social cultural expressions. We have 3 constructs, but we can't take language use for a specific paper per se. We have decided to merge local language use and social cultural expressions. Then paper 2 consists of items from literary creativity. This will consist of the aspects of literature, poetry, novel, short story, drama, and so on. Then the paper structures. We talked of 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1, I said that, is combining language use and social cultural expression. Then paper 1, we shall have 3 sections in all. The 3 sections are A, B, and C. And these sections will be done in 2.5 hours. And the test takers will respond to 3 items. The breakdown is as well given. We have section A. We're going to have translation as in the previous papers. Translation will consist of compulsory scenario-based item of about 200 to 250 words, which will actually, the learners will have to translate from English to local language. And the text for this particular translation should be elevated in terms of register, meaning you're supposed to draw the text from scientific field, from legal field, from political field, from social field, or economic field. One thing that you have to note is the text should be advanced in nature, so that we expose the learners to how they can best translate and make meaning out of texts that are complex, because this is advanced level. We are testing higher order thinking. Then section B, we have composition writing, where we have item 2 and item 3. In this section, the 2 optional scenario-based functional writing tasks, which will either come from articles, speech, agreement, program, and the corresponding budget, will, and biography will be set. Or 2 optional scenario-based argumentative stroke expository composition on analysis and evaluation of cultural issues may be set. we have either or in this section. If this year the setting is focusing on functional writing, then the two scenario-based items will only be set from functional writing, and the learners will have to select one of the two. If next year the setting is going to be on argumentative stroke expository composition, that therefore means functional writing will not be set in that situation, but we shall have two items from either an argumentative or expository composition perspective. We have decided to make these items an analysis or evaluation because most of the items on the culture we had been setting were just more about memory, more about knowledge. So let the learners be exposed to a situation whereby they can critique the different cultural aspects in the face of the contemporary perspective. How was marriage then and how is marriage today? How was burial then and how is burial today? So that is section B with the two items. There's an NB in every end of cycle assessment. I've already explained this. Two optional items would be set either from functional writing or argumentative stroke expository composition. Then the third section is C, which is comprehension passage. This will be a compulsory advanced comprehension passage of about 600 to 700 words. And will assess four scenario-based items. The first item is going to assess understanding. That may fall within the category of subject matter, vocabulary, summary, or any other item that is within understanding. Then item B and C will test application of knowledge. How is the learner able to use the information in the text to apply to real life situation? And then item D will assess analytical reasoning. Remember, the text here should again be advanced in nature. Let us set expository or descriptive texts that are current in nature, not narrative passages, not stories, because stories are hardly complex. That is the end of paper 1 structure. Paper 2, we shall have literary analysis and production. And this paper, like paper 1, consists of 3 sections, A, B, and C. The paper will be done in 3 hours, and test takers will respond to 3 items. And like paper 1, paper 2 will be done in 3 hours. Then section A, what do we have? In section A, we're going to have an excerpt or poetry or prose. This is only one item. One compulsory poem, creative prose, an excerpt from a play or a novel. The excerpt will be selected from a play or a novel, not from prescribed text. Colleagues, this section, there's something unique we have to take note of. We're saying that if you're setting an extract from a play or a novel, this extract should not come from the set text, from a prescribed text. You remember we shared with you the list of the set texts that were evaluated and passed about a year ago. So if we are setting this extract, let us identify it from any other novel, any other play. Why are we doing this? We like the learners to transfer the knowledge they have learned from the prescribed text to a new situation. So if I give them an extract which they have never read, are they able to analyze the elements of poetry, the elements of prose, the elements of a novel which actually we have there? This will assess 4 scenario-based items as well. We shall have A, B, C, and D. And all these elements will have to focus on, these elements will actually reflect the literary elements I've talked about. Then, placing the excerpt in context or relating the extract to the rest of the play stroke novel will not be set or will be excluded from the items. Because why is it like this? If the extract is new and it is from the book the learner has never read, there's no reason why we should test plot, because the other two aspects, placing the excerpt in its context and relating the extract to the rest of the novel or of the play, needs when somebody has read the whole book. So we shall leave out that item, which will not be set. Then section B, we shall have analytical essay. Analytical essay items, that is number 2 and 3. Item 2 and item 3. Analytical scenario-based essays from prescribed plays and novels. This is where you're going to set plays that you already have in the prescribed text. Learners will use prescribed text of their choice to respond to items 2 or 3. They will respond to item 2 or 3. List of prescribed set books will be provided in this section. This section will have the list of the prescribed books, but you shall have only 2 items set. The learner will be free to either use 1 book or 2 books or 3 to respond to the item set. We shall not force them to use a specific text, but within the item, you can tell them to use 1 text, but without giving the name or the title of the text, or you can even ask them to use 2 or 3 texts in arguing or in presenting their responses. That is for section B. And section C, we have literary production. When you look at the syllabus, there is enough guidance on writing drama, writing poetry, producing stand-up comedies, and I'm sure we have taken the learners through that. At this particular point, we like to assess learners' abilities to write, to produce maybe a poem, a fiction piece, a scene or an act of drama. It is not going to be a complete drama. It can be something like a dialogue that can be actually written within 1 hour. But to test if the learner can apply the respective elements of a given genre in composing a literary piece. So we shall have 1 compulsory scenario-based item on topical issue. Issues of interest within the community. It can be politics, it can be religion, it can be poverty, any issue of concern within the society. Then any genre already set in A. Remember we said A, we shall set excerpt. If we have already set an excerpt from a play in section A, then in this section we shall not ask the learner to write part of a play, because the learner will just copy the structure from section A. So if section A has already an excerpt from a play, then section C, if the learner is to produce something, they'll have to write either a poem or a story. I hope that is clear. List of the set books, sample item, and scoring rubrics. So we are not going to the list of the books, how they're going to be presented, and we shall look at the sample item and the scoring rubric. The item is from paper 2, section B, and it is one of the analytical essay items that you'll always be setting. We have the list of books, set books there. Section B, plays and novels. Those are set books. We have for Luganda, the current set books. So that is how they're going to be presented. And learners will have the liberty to identify, to select 1 or 2, depending on the instruction in the item. We have sample item, which is an either item, which reads, a classmate who is not offering local language finds you carrying one of the books above, which you have read and discussed with classmates. She requests to take a look at it. On giving her, she observes for some time, reads the title, reads the blurb, shakes her head approvingly. She then says, it looks interesting. Later she inquires why you think the characters justify the purpose of writing the book. This is a scenario item that can be actually responded to using any of the set text above that we have given. Task with ample illustrations from one of the set books. Write an essay in response to her inquiry. Write an essay in response to her inquiry. We have seen the scenario presented and we know what this is asking. The learner will have to rethink and interpret this text, and you realize that this is asking for the author's intention, which is one of the key elements in literary text. We have the scoring rubric. Our scoring rubric is focusing on author's intention. We have the basis of evaluation with indicators, though it is not very clearly seen. One is interpretation of task, stroke context. The indicator, correct introduction, which states the problem stroke challenge in the scenario. Then identifying ideas to be used in addressing the challenge stroke problem. Qualifying statement with ample illustrations. Then we are going to score. The levels will give us the scores that you're supposed to give these learners. Score 4. We are beginning from 4, running to the right-hand side. You have to score 4 if the learner in that essay demonstrates a comprehensive understanding of the role of characters, their actions, traits, and relationships in advancing the writer's intention. The learner uses ample illustrations from the selected text to discuss the writer's intention. Then the learner clearly positions the task within the scenario, context, and presents in-depth and logical argument. Then you'll score 3 if the learner demonstrates good understanding of the role of characters, their actions, traits, and relationships in advancing the writer's intentions, and uses illustrations from the selected text to discuss the intentions. Then the learner clearly positions the task within scenario stroke context with minor omissions or some depth in the line of argument. You have seen the quality of the scores actually is reducing in quality. Score 4, the description, the indicator, what is needed is of a very high quality. 3 is fairly like 4, but it is reducing in quality. Then score 2, if the learner demonstrates fair understanding of the role of characters, their actions, traits, and relationships in advancing writer's intention using a few illustrations. Generally, the learner positions the task within the scenario context but lacks depth and precision in linking them. So the description of 2 is quite lower in quality compared to 3. Then you'll score 1 if the learner demonstrates little or no understanding of the role of characters, their actions, traits, and relationships in advancing the writer's intention in a given text. The learner mentions the task within the context, but interpretations and alignment with the scenario are not clear. So that is how you're going to score the first basis of assessment. Then the second basis of assessment is content generation and presentation of ideas. In this scenario, the learner is supposed to generate some content, especially the ideas related to the author's intention or the writer's intention. Generates ideas that address the task. Next indicator is makes connections within and between ideas and context. Then the last indicator presents ideas coherently. What are we going to score at level 4? Score 4 if the learner demonstrates a comprehensive understanding of the author's intentions and presents relevant ideas which are exhaustive. Shows strong, if the learner shows strong and logical connections between ideas and context, demonstrates synthesis and in-depth understanding. Then C, ideas are presented in a clear, logical, fluent manner. Transitions are smooth and enhance meaningful flow. These qualities of the essays you have always seen from our learners there, you can easily place them where they fall. Then at level 3, score 3 if the learner demonstrates good understanding of the author's intentions and presents relevant ideas which are discursive. Next, some connections among ideas are made but limited in depth. Some references to the text are evident. Then what about the ideas? Ideas are understandable but with occasional lapses in logic or organization which somehow distracts comprehension. Just like the previous basis, the quality of the essay is getting lower. 4 is the highest. Then score 2. If the learner attempts to address the task but includes limited or partially relevant ideas, development of ideas is actually minimal. Then few or weak connections among ideas, limited linkage to the text. And presentation is fairly good. Ideas appear disjointed or loosely connected. And if the learner is to score 1, you need to look at the learner fails to address the task meaningfully. Many ideas are not relevant. Then very minimal connections among ideas. Context is ignored and is also misunderstood. Presentation is incoherent. We have fragmented essays and it is difficult to follow the meaning of that presentation. And then the final basis is going to be language use. Under language use, we shall consider a number of aspects. We're going to look at the orthography. How is the orthography of that language written? What are the key spelling rules that the learners are supposed to follow? We shall also look at grammar in this context. So we are going to focus on spelling, punctuation, word order, sentence structures, tenses, and so on and so forth. Appropriate register and language expression such as idioms, similes, and etc. So at this level, the learner needs to demonstrate excellent use of orthography, grammar, and the aspects are given there: parts of speech, tenses, sentence structures, and how the orthography dictates or guides in the writing of specific words or specific word parts in a given language. Then we shall score 3 if the learner demonstrates good use of orthography and grammar. That is parts of speech, tenses, sentences, structures, the good use of those, and discussing the writer's intention. So there should be that good use. How has the learner used this? You find that it is not very good, but it is somehow. Then you'll score 2 if there are inconsistencies in the use of grammatical and orthographical aspects. Grammar, we have talked about parts of speech. We have talked about tenses. We have talked about spellings. Then the aspect of orthography. I request all the teachers who are handling different local languages to keep abreast with the orthographies that we use, the approved orthographies that we use in our local languages. It will guide us well in assessing this area. So we talked of inconsistencies in the use of grammatical and orthographical aspects, distract the meaningful flow of the presentation. And then you're going to score 1 if the learner uses very limited grammatical and orthographical aspects correctly. So that is about the assessment rubric for local languages. And if we have 3 bases, and all these bases we're going to score each out of 4, that gives us a maximum of 12 scores. But you can increase the basis of evaluation depending on the demands of the task of the item that you have set. Thank you, colleagues. I hope you have actually picked right the assessment guidelines for local languages based on the presentation given. I thank you very much for listening. We shall now receive questions and respond as expected. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Nile English course, your guide to mastering English in a fun and practical way. Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center, the Nile English course helps you to build strong skills in reading and understanding, writing with clarity, speaking with confidence, listening carefully and critically, with exciting stories, engaging activities, and real-life examples. Learning English becomes interactive and meaningful. Whether you're in class or studying at home, the Nile English course supports your journey to becoming a confident communicator, because strong communication skills open doors in school and in life. Welcome to the Nile English course, your guide to mastering English in a fun and practical way. Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center, the Nile English course helps you to build strong skills in reading and understanding, writing with clarity, speaking with confidence, listening carefully and critically, with exciting stories, engaging activities, and real-life examples. Learning English becomes interactive and meaningful. Whether you're in class or studying at home, the Nile English course supports your journey to becoming a confident communicator, because strong communication skills open doors in school and in life. Welcome to the Nile English course, your guide to mastering English in a fun and practical way. Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center, the Nile English course helps you to build strong skills in lies the reading and understanding, writing with clarity. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print.
Thank you. Welcome back, colleagues. It is time to respond to some of the questions from you. There is one question here that we request for a summary review about local languages, including paper arrangements. Later on, the assessment guidelines will be uploaded on the platform, but I can briefly give you a recap. I said that the papers have reduced from 3 to 2. We shall have 2 papers, and paper 1 will have 3 sections, A, B, and C. And this paper will be set focusing on 2 constructs, that is language use and socio-cultural expression. The paper will be done by the learners in 2.5 hours. And the different sections I also talked about. Section A, we shall have translation. Section B, we are going to have functional writing. or argumentative stroke expository essay. If this year argumentative composition has been set, then next year we shall have functional writing set. And these functional writing aspects will be writing a will, writing agreement, a program, and the corresponding budget. Then section C, we're going to have a comprehension passage. This should be a complex comprehension passage drawn from the field, from legal field, political field, economic field. Passages like stories, we have to avoid them in this particular section. The same is true with translation. For our translation, you're supposed to get the advanced text from scientific field, political field, actually with elevated register that, or actually diction that gives the learner time to think. Then we shall have paper 2. Paper 2 likewise will consist of 3 sections. Section A is going to focus on one item that can either be an extract from a play or a novel. It can be a poem, it can be a prose passage, but only one will be set. Then section B, we shall have analytical essays. These analytical essays will also be scenario based. There will be 2 items set on analytical essays. We shall have the list of the prescribed books, the books that were previously circulated when they were approved, the books that you are teaching. The list of the books will be there, and learners will use those books to respond to the items, but they're supposed to answer only one item. Then section C, we shall have literary production. The learners will have to write. We'll have to produce a poem, we'll have to produce a part or a scene of a play, we'll have to produce a story. Only one of those, not all. And as I said previously, if already in this section we have a play set, a learner is supposed to write a part of a play or a dialogue, we should ensure that in section A we don't have an excerpt from a play. Otherwise the learner will just reproduce the same or write something close to that. We shall have already given him the structure. So if in this section you have set a dialogue, then section A, the learner will have to actually analyze a poem or a prose passage. That basically marks the end of my presentation concerning the structure of the paper. All the 2 papers, in all the 2 papers, learners will respond to only 3 items. Paper 1, they'll respond to 3 items. Then paper 2, they'll respond to 3 items. Thank you very much for listening. Do we have some other questions coming? I'll be willing to respond to that as well. The next question, will books be needed in the paper? Will books be needed in the paper? This is not open book examination, so automatically the learners cannot actually be given the books as we used to do it in the previous curriculum. The learners will have to be taught by the teachers, facilitate them, let them discuss the books, let them understand the book. When they are doing this, they're not going to have the books with them. And then for the excerpt, I said, you will not pick an excerpt from a book that the learners have already read or you have already discussed in class. If you give them an excerpt from there, then that shows that we're not helping this learner to transfer the knowledge from the books he or she has learned to a new book that he or she will encounter in future. So for this particular one, we only need the excerpt, not the whole book. Just set as it was in the old curriculum, but the biggest difference here is that the items will be scenario based. You're going to set 4 items, and the 4 items should reflect elements of literature, but items on plot, that is placing the context in, placing the extract in context or relating the extract to the rest of the novel or the play, you're going to leave that one out because the learner is encountering or interfacing with this text for the first time. Thank you very much. Some more questions, Joram? Thank you, colleagues. I hope you're going to get more information once the materials are uploaded. I wish you the very best. I need to say something about prominent contributors. When you go to the syllabus, more information is given about prominent contributors. Let the learners conduct projects on prominent contributors. Let them find out more about people whom we call prominent contributors. And let them produce information that in future we shall use to analyze the contributions of those prominent contributors, maybe personalities or organizations. This time we shall not set this as a specific item because we came to realize that some of the prominent contributors we had been receiving in names were not actually prominent as said. But once learners are given the time to find out who from within their community is a prominent contributor, it will make this topic to make much more sense and be more interesting to the learners. Thank you.
Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts. Once logged in, you will have access to the downloadable materials and interactive content. The NCDC e-learning platform is designed to make curriculum access easier, faster, and more flexible for learners, teachers, and stakeholders across Uganda. By integrating technology into the curriculum delivery, NCDC is expanding access to quality education beyond the traditional classroom. Flexible, accessible, future-focused. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm here to present assessment on advanced secondary curriculum of principles and practices of agriculture. And I'm happy to be with you here. Yeah, the session outcomes would wish the participants to appreciate the mode of assessment of assessing learners in principles and practices of agriculture under the adapted competence-based curriculum. In our introduction, we are looking at assessment of principles and practices of agriculture, which has its focus where I want learners that have the ability to apply biological principles to design and implement sustainable crop and animal production systems, including value addition, so that we can meet the market requirements and also generate profits. There we have a pictorial that sums up the introductory bit of it as the overall goal of assessing agriculture, where we are looking at the environment, in those different forms. I hope colleagues you can see them clearly. We have below the ground, where we have things in relation to the ecological benefit, building up of the soil health, enhancement of water infiltration, reduction of erosion. And this one is more so in crop production, where we have nutrient recycling, slows, runoffs, and then carbon sequestration, and all the others. Then where we have the animals and the crops, we would wish to see them thriving, because ecologically there will be a benefit, more so in food security, where we look at milk, fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, fodder, and the others, because they are all beneficial to both animals and crops, and likewise to humans. Then the other key part is in relation to income generation, where we look at the sales finally, because we have components of value addition and components of marketing in our curriculum. Then above this, the ground, we still have other benefits, as you can see them over there, where we see the tree, benefits of air purification, moderation of the climate, increasing biodiversity, windbreaks, carbon sequestration, and all of those. I hope members you can see them very well. So it's one of the biggest reasons why we have to assess principles and practices of agriculture while applying biological principles. Then principles and practices of agriculture, we have got 4 constructs. The first one is agriculture biology, and its objective, we are looking at implementing biological principles to crops and animals for productivity, and such content comes from topics where we have 1 and 2, agriculture biology in crops and animals, and then anatomy and physiology and morphology. Then the second construct is animal production, and its objective in assessment is to design and implement scientifically sound and sustainable farm animal production systems that meet the market requirements in order to earn profits. And in the syllabus, we see them from topics related to livestock management and rearing practices, and then harvesting farm animals and animal products. Then the third construct is crop production, where we have its objective being design and implement scientific crop production systems to earn profits. And it is seen in topics of soil systems, crop production and husbandry practices, and then crop harvesting and handling. Then the last construct, which is the fourth, is value addition, which is more so to animal and animal products, and its objective is to develop and implement value addition to animal and animal products to earn profits. and it is embedded in topics where we have value addition to farm animal and animal products, where we have animal product marketing, and then crop and crop product marketing. So basically, principles and practices of agriculture at A level have 4 constructs with their assessment objectives, and then the topics where we shall have such information got from. Then description of the constructs. Our first construct is agriculture biology, and its description is looking at applying biological principles to crop and animal production to manage agriculture resources sustainably. Colleagues, we all know that agriculture has its foundation, all bases rooted in science and in biology, because we are looking at lives, animals and crops are lives. That is where our description of agriculture biology lies in. And we believe that for us to have successful animal and crop production activities, we need the science. That is why we have agriculture biology as one of the constructs. Then the second construct is animal production, and its description is to produce farm animals scientifically, sustainably, and profitably for the market. The third one is crop production, where we are looking at producing crops scientifically, sustainably, and profitably for the market. Then the last one is value addition to animal and animal products, and in this we are looking at transforming animals and animal products scientifically and sustainably for the market. So those are the different 4 descriptions for the 4 constructs we have in principles and practices of agriculture at A level. The structure of the examination papers. Agriculture will have 2 papers. We shall have the theory paper and we shall have the practical paper. And the theory paper will have 3 sections. We shall have section A, section B, and section C. Section A will be compulsory, and it will have 2 parts. It will have part 1 with 1 question from value addition construct, then part 2 with 1 question from agriculture biology construct, and both questions are compulsory in section A. Then section B, we shall have crop production, and in this we shall have 2 questions where the learner selects 1. The same applies to section C, which is animal production. The learner we shall have 2 questions and the learner should select 1. So in total the learner is supposed to have 4 questions done, 2 questions from section A, and then 1 question from section B, and 1 question from section C. The paper will take 3 hours of the time. Then we have paper 2, the practical. It will take 2 hours, and we shall have 2 compulsory test items. And these items in this paper will be got from any of the 4 constructs using their respective assessment objectives. And in question 1 of paper 2, we shall have 1 item, and we shall use scientific investigation to solve the challenge presented. Colleagues, we all know that we are coming from a background of investigations, and in this case we shall be looking at where learners have to study the problem, they have to predict, they have to observe and give evidence with conclusions. In other words, with the first question, the scientific investigation, we expect the learners to carry out experiment. Then in the second one, where the item will require observational investigations to recommend actions that will be taken in addressing the challenges. In this case, we shall be looking at what we present to the learners. Then the learners will gather information. They don't need to change anything. It does not require experimentation. It is more of observation and recording of what is provided to them so that they can solve a given challenge as the events occur. Sample assessment item. The one we have, we are getting it from construct 4, that is construct 4, validation. And in this we are looking at raw meat that can be processed into various products such as sausage, burgers, and cured meat at the cottage unit. On the occasion, pieces of raw meat packed in containers were seen peeping out of the wooden transportation boxes as they were being transported from the slaughterhouse to the cottage unit on a bicycle for a distance of 20 kilometers. At the cottage unit, the workers inquired about the weight of the meat of head. The supplier reported the weight of the 4 pieces as 42 kilograms, 45 kilograms, 52 kilograms, and then 54 kilograms. Then he demanded payment of 15,000 per kilogram, which the worker paid along with the transportation cost. It totaled to an amount of 20,000. Upon examining the meat with bare hands, the worker observed that the beef chunk were full of white fat and bones. The next stage involved chopping and grinding of the meat as received from the supplier and mixing it with ingredients to ensure consistency for sausages. The sausages were packed in casing of 12 sausage per pack, and each pack weighed 0.5 kilograms. From 1 kilogram of meat, 1.5 kgs of sausages could be produced. The worker used ingredients costing to 30,000 for every 15 kilograms of sausage made. The finished sausage were finally kept in an open bucket and ready for sale, and the selling price per sausage pack was 12,300 shillings. Our task: what should the cottage operator do to sustain his business? Of course, we go right away to the scoring rubric. We expect the output to be an essay. Under the basis of evaluation, we are looking at the quality of the sausage production to meet the market standards. For a learner to score 4, we need the learner to have an error rate of the 3 areas of sausage making, which include preparation, actual making, and then marketing of the sausage. To score 3, we need an error rate of some of the areas of sausage making, which may include preparation, marketing, and making of sausage. Then score 2, an error rate of an area of the 3, either preparation, marketing, or making. Then to score 1, the learner might have stated 1 or none of the 3 areas of making sausage, which include the actual making, or the preparation, or the marketing. Then the second part is analyzing, solve, and justify the solutions to the issue, where we are looking at challenges in the scenario in respect to the preparation and the actual processing or marketing of the sausage. And when you look at the rubric in terms of scores, scoring a 4 needs that, scoring a 3 needs that, scoring a 2 and then scoring a 1 needs that. Where we see that in scoring 1, the learner tries to elaborate none or 1 of the challenges of sausage making with respect to preparation and processing. Then score 2, elaborating all proposes solutions and justifications to a few of the challenges. Then proposes solutions and justifications to some of the challenges. And then score 4, elaborates or proposes and gives justification to most of the challenges of sausage making. Then in conclusion, because you have 3 areas where we are looking at conclusion in terms of making informed decisions about sausage making. And in this case, for a learner to get score 1, there is, if we see the learner makes unclear conclusions that lack depth, coherency, and then justification. And then score of 2 is where the learner makes conclusions but lacks in-depth coherence and justification. Then score 3, the learner makes conclusions but lacks depth and justification in sausage making process. And then score 4, the learner makes an evidence-based and logically flawed conclusion with full understanding of the sausage making process. So basically, as far as paper 1 is concerned, that is one of the samples of the sections in one of the questions of paper 1. Then paper 2 still will have question 1, which is the scientific investigation, and that is the scenario we proposed in our test items. And then that is the task where we expect the learner to conduct a scientific investigation on each of the samples to guide the farmer in making informed decisions when providing animals with supplements. As I've said, that question is question 1, which is for the scientific investigation, where we expect the learner to have observe, experiment, come up with an hypothesis, and makes evidence to have the conclusions as per what the task requires. Then in response of a rubric, we expect a report, and in our report, we expect part 1, where we have preparations of the planting materials to carry out the scientific investigation or inquiry on proteins, where we have to reduce the sugars and the non-reducing reagents. And then another basis is on management of aphids and white flies in that lane. We have where the learner has to score a 1, there is a description. Then where they have to score a 2, there is a description. Score a 3, there is also that description. And then also score a 4, there is that description. But on basis of evaluation, we have data collection. The other one has been doing the experimentation with the evidence and hypothesis. Then other section is data collection, and then the last one will be analysis and conclusion, because we expect to give conclusions based on evidence. So basically, that is a sample of the question for paper 2, which is for scientific investigation. Thank you so much for listening.
Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and Welcome to the services.
Nile English course.
By producing materials in-house,
English in a fun and
NCDC
practical
reduces
way.
costs and
Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center,
while ensuring
Nile
timely
English course
availability
helps you to
of
build
curriculum
strong skills
resources.
in
We print
reading
all
and
curriculum-related
understanding,
materials,
writing with
including
clarity,
textbooks,
speaking
readers,
with confidence,
and teachers' guides,
listening carefully
supporting
and
effective
critically,
implementation
with
across the
exciting
education
stories,
sector.
engaging
Beyond
activities,
curriculum
and
materials,
real-life examples,
the unit also
learning
provides
English
commercial
becomes
printing services to
interactive
the
and
public,
meaningful.
guaranteeing
Whether
high
you're in
quality,
class or
quick
studying at
turnaround,
The
and
Nile
competitive
English course
pricing.
supports your journey to
Our
becoming a
services
confident
include
communicator.
posters
Because
and banners, flyers and brochures,
and
branded
in life.
letterheads. Welcome to the Nile English course, your guide to mastering English in a fun and practical way. Designed by the National Curriculum Development Center, the Nile English course helps you to build strong skills in reading and understanding, writing with clarity, speaking with confidence, listening carefully and critically. With exciting stories, engaging activities, and real-life examples, learning English becomes interactive and meaningful. Whether you're in class or studying at home, the Nile English course supports your journey to becoming a confident communicator, because strong communication skills open doors in school and in life. NCDC Journal invites researchers, curriculum specialists, educators, and policymakers to submit scholarly papers for publishing. The journal provides a peer-reviewed platform for high-quality research and critical discourse in curriculum studies, education policy, pedagogy, assessment, innovation, and related fields. We welcome original research articles, policy analysis, case studies, theoretical and conceptual papers, evidence-based classroom innovations. Submissions should contribute to strengthening curriculum development and improving teaching and learning outcomes. All manuscripts undergo a rigorous peer review process to ensure academic quality and relevance. Be part of the conversation shaping Uganda's education landscape. Submit your manuscript and contribute to knowledge that informs policy, practice, and national development.
Thank you so much, colleagues, for attending and for the questions asked. There was a member who has asked a question that is mechanization scrapped out. Members, as it is seen in lower secondary curriculum, it is the same way as we look at it in advanced curriculum, A-level curriculum. We are looking at mechanization, and in this case we are looking at more so of the tools, equipment, and the others. We look at them as materials being used in any of the constructs. These tools can be used in crop, these tools can be used in animal, these tools can be used in value addition. So we don't study them independently. We look at them as we are handling any of the constructs we have listed down, because they are to be used within carrying out the 4 constructs we have talked about. That's why mechanization does not come out clearly as a construct. Then another member asked that, are there continuous assessment in agriculture? As far as I'm concerned, we don't have continuous assessment in agriculture for A-level as of now. Then lastly, another member also has inquired that when is value addition to crops assessed? Members, as we realize, when you look at the curriculum for lower secondary, it has more of value addition both to crop and animal, but there is much for crop. And at A-level, when you look at the curriculum, the topics we have there are more so for value addition to animal and animal products, meaning that it was covered at lower secondary more. That's why we don't have it at advanced level. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts. Once logged in, you will have access to the downloadable materials and interactive content. The NCDC e-learning platform is designed to make curriculum access easier, faster, and more flexible for learners, teachers, and stakeholders across Uganda. By integrating technology into the curriculum delivery, NCDC is expanding access to quality education beyond the traditional classroom. Flexible, accessible, future-focused. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print. Did you know that some of the science equipment used in Ugandan schools is designed and produced right here at the National Curriculum Development Center, NCDC? We strengthen the practical teaching of science and technology across Uganda's education system by designing and producing local science and technology equipment using locally available materials whenever possible. This approach makes practical learning affordable, accessible, and sustainable for schools across the country. Science equipment requires maintenance. STEP provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. Learning science should never stop due to broken equipment. STEPD provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. The department also conducts in-service training for science teachers and technicians. They are trained in proper operation, safe handling, servicing and repair, safe storage of equipment. Empowering teachers means empowering learners. STEP carries out research and development in educational equipment design to ensure that Ugandan students gain access to relevant, appropriate, and practical science skills. Innovation begins with hands-on experience. The Curriculum Tree magazine shares curriculum reforms, research insights, innovations, and implementation updates across the education sector. Just like a tree with strong roots and growing branches, our curriculum reflects Uganda's values, learning areas, and the competencies we nurture in every learner. Through the Curriculum Tree magazine, teachers, school leaders, policymakers, and partners stay informed, engaged, and connected to the national curriculum development. We invite you to read, contribute, and grow with us. NCDC Journal invites researchers, curriculum specialists, educators, and policymakers to submit scholarly papers for publishing. The journal provides a peer-reviewed platform for high-quality research and critical discourse.
Good afternoon, listeners. I'm Said Twine, presenting history assessment modalities for A level. I thank you for being patient. I thank you for responding to adjustments of NCDC program. Session outcomes of my presentation: the participants should be able to understand the nature of history test items under the adapted competence-based A-level curriculum. Number 2, relate the syllabus that you are using at school of A-level with constructs of history that we have packaged in these assessment modalities. Develop appropriate assessment items for A-level and their rubrics. Why assess history? Why assess history? What is the rationale behind this activity? History is assessed in order to determine the learner's ability to gather and critically analyze information on historical narratives, the transformation of human societies over time, trace the roots of current global challenges, understand their causes, and explore ways of addressing them in daily life. There are so many reasons why history is assessed, but this is a basic. This is the key that we need to share this afternoon. How history will be assessed. This is a key summary of my presentation. History has 4 constructs with its respective assessment objectives. 2 constructs will form 1 examination paper. It will have 2 examination papers. There are 4. Each exam will have 4 optional scenario questions of equal weight. Time will be 2 hours and 20 minutes. 20 minutes to read through the instructions and understand the paper, then 2 hours for answering the 2 selected items. Construct 1. The title of Construct 1 is Socio-Economic Systems in Africa. Its description is: the learner analyzes key socio-economic developments in Africa from the pre-colonial era to the present to understand how these developments have shaped African identities and the pursuit of harmonious coexistence. It's about pre-colonial history of Africa. Then the assessment objective of Construct 1. The learner analyzes how African traditional structures have shaped African societies and influenced modern development, unity, and patriotism. Across are the topics that we are going to have under this construct. Topic 1 will be the social and economic systems in pre-colonial institutions in Africa. It will be taught in Senior 5. Topic 2 will be the pre-colonial trade systems in Africa, which will be taught in Senior 5. Here under this, we saw some trade systems at O level. We are not repeating them. There's new ones like trans-Saharan trade, triangular trade, which we never tackled at lower secondary, that we are bringing under topic 2 Senior 5. Under this construct, another topic is post-colonial socio-economic development in East Africa. Post-colonial socio-economic development in East Africa. You are all aware that history, the previous 6 papers, we are merged into 2. We are merged into 2. That's why you are seeing topics of different previous papers are now together. We are merged into 2 papers, and that's why you are seeing those topics of post-colonial socio-economic developments now in the same bracket with pre-colonial systems. Regional economic groupings and international relations. Then another topic will be nationalization of education in Uganda, challenges of African growth and development. Those are selected topics for Construct 1. Those are selected topics for Construct 1. Construct 2, the title is Colonialism, National Agitation and Rise of New States in the World. Description of this construct is examine the traits of colonialism, rise of nationalism, and how unity of movements have contributed to the formation of new states and inspired the pursuit of freedom, equality, and self-rule. Assessment objective of this construct. Learner examines the forces of imperialism and the key political developments in Africa and beyond to understand their impacts on unity, independence, social justice, citizenship, and international relations. The topics under this construct 2 include the scramble for and partition of Africa, which is topic 4 in senior 5. Then topic 5, establishment of colonial rule. Then colonial administration. Then sovereignty and constitutionalism in East Africa. The growth of African nationalism. All this will be covered under construct 2. Construct 2 is a bit lengthy. You remember, it belongs to unit 1 according to the syllabus you are using at school. And in the syllabus you are using at school, unit 1 was formed out of the previous 4 topics that you had in the old curriculum. It was formed out of nationalism, socio-economic history of East Africa. It was formed out of paper 5, which was the constitutional practice and theory. Then paper 6, the African history. They came together and formed unit 1, which has many papers, and most of these papers we are under construct 2, and that's why it has 2 slides. When we continue, you can see more topics coming out under construct 2. Topic 8 in senior 5 is rise of African nationalism. Topic 5 is unification struggles in Europe up to 1871. Topic 6 is separation and ethnic nationalism in Africa. The unification struggles in Europe, that is another nationalism as well. Then is Sierra Leone and Liberia in the world context. Nationalism and the challenges of integration in the Middle East. All those topics in your syllabus book of A-level that came out in February 2025, whatever had each topic that had the relationship with colonization and nationalism are all housed under construct 2, and that's why it's a bit lengthy. Construct 3. Construct 3 is about revolutions and their impact on the world. Whatever is in the nature of a revolution across the world, Africa, Asia, Europe, are all housed in construct 3. The description of this construct, the learner examines how revolutions and major political changes in history influence the world and how their causes, leaders, and outcomes can guide modern efforts for peace, unity, and good leadership. Assessment objective of this construct. The learner examines how revolutions and major political changes in history influence the world and how their causes, leaders, and outcomes can guide modern efforts for peace, unity, and good leadership. The key topics under construct 3 is the French Revolution of 1789, which is taught in senior 5, then the era of Napoleon Bonaparte, 1799 to 1815, restoration of order and stability in Europe, the revolutions of 1848 in Europe, the Eastern Question, the post-World War era. All these are housed in construct 3, and when you go to your syllabus, much of this work are under the category, under the unit 2, which you call the world affairs. So that, and it has more current global history, and the sample item I will share with you later, I selected it from construct 3. Construct 4, the global politics and ideologies. The global politics and ideologies. Description of these constructs. Learner analyzes key political ideas, systems, and events at regional and global levels to understand how leadership, governance, foreign influence, and ideologies have shaped societies to foster critical thinking, unity, respect for diversity, and responsible civic participation. That's the description of construct 4. The assessment objective: the learner analyzes key historical events and ideologies to understand their impact on societies and their relevance to today's political and social issues. The selected topics for this construct include post-independence ideologies in East Africa, then World War I and its aftermath, Unit 2, Senior 6, post-World War I ideologies in Europe, Unit 2, Senior 6, then World War II, 1939, 1945 and its aftermath, the lessons from the rise of United States of America and Canada, nationalism and challenges of integration in the Middle East, development of South Asia and Far East since 1939. These are topics that you have in your syllabus, but in this categorization of constructs, they have been put in construct 4. And if I'm right, most of these topics emerge from World Affairs, Unit 2 of Senior 5 and Senior 6. So those are 4 constructs that we have prepared for History A level, and they are closely related with the syllabus that you are using at school. So kindly teach with attention, teach with care, so that these constructs can be understood, and when questions are set, learners are able to respond accordingly. Examination structure. This is how the examination will look like. End of circle history will have 2 examination papers. Paper 1, this examination will be developed from the first 2 assessment objectives and their respective constructs. Paper 2, the examination will be developed from assessment objective 3 and 4 and their respective constructs. History paper 1 title reads as Themes in World Socio-Economic and Political History since 1800. That is the name for the exam for history paper 1. History paper 2, Themes in World Affairs since 1789. That's a title for History Unit 2 that we are using now in Senior 5 and 6 at A-level reviewed curriculum. Then each exam will have 4 assessment items of scenario situational nature and of equal weights. Each exam will have 4 assessment items of scenario situational nature of equal weight. 2 items will be attempted in each exam paper. 4 will be set and you select 2. We don't have compulsory, they are all optional. Each paper will be done in a period of 2 hours and 20 minutes. 20 minutes for reading through the instructions, then 2 hours for actually doing the 2 questions. Sample assessment item. Sample assessment item, as I told you earlier, I selected it from construct 3 and it has some relations of construct 4. It's an integrated form of a scenario capturing so many topics, so many learning outcomes across. It goes like this. At one of the TV talk shows, a case was presented that the world was at peace after World War II in 1945, with most countries aiming at developmental issues, following the devastations of states like Japan and the Axis camp. that lost the Second World War. Until February 2014, when global peace disappeared with Russia invading Ukraine. The analysts claim that this was done in attempt to restrict Ukraine from building alliance with America, the capital states, and yet historically Ukraine was a vassal state of Russia in the 18th and 19th century period. Consequently, the global silence on Russia and Ukraine war has pushed the superiority of America in cooperation with Israel to bomb Iran and kill her supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, on 28 February 2026. It screamed that with above two situations, the world war, with above two situations, the world states have been divided into alliances already, and a third world war is looming. The TV presenter has invited schools, including your school, to participate in the next discussion of this case to analyze and suggest the remedies. For the foreseen Third World War. Thank you. Listeners, we are sorry for any for interjection. We are sorry. So the task of that scenario, as a student of history, prepare a write-up or the essay that you would present on behalf of your school. So the scenario is about the current two wars going on in Asia and Europe, and we have captured this scenario as the context at the context of what you have studied under World War I, World War II, the French revolutions, the 1848 revolutions. So when we talk of scenario context, this is what we mean, bringing what you studied in history and apply it in the modern world to see whether the learner can provide solutions to the challenges affecting the world today. So in the scenario I've said, the World War III is looming, it's about to take place because countries are attacking one another and the UN and other international bodies are not doing much to provide the solution. So now, the learners from the history they have studied under this construct 3, we want them to propose ideas that can create peace in the world and stop the outbreak of the Third World War. That is the gist of this scenario, and if the learner attempts it right, then he's our best candidate. If the learner provides solutions that can guide these countries to get back to peace terms and avoid building alliances that are about to erupt into a Third World War, then he will score highly in our assessment rubrics. Assessment rubric for the task. Assessment rubric for the task is in 3 parts. We have interpretation, we have introduction and interpretation of the task. We have generating and presenting the ideas. This is going to be the body of the learner's presentation. Then the last one will be making informed judgments. This will be like a conclusion. So when we go back under introduction and interpretation, the best learner who does well under this question, who gives us clearly demonstrates comprehensive understanding of the task, will score 4. Then a learner who demonstrates good understanding of the task by identifying most of the important aspects will score 3. Then the learner who demonstrates basic understanding of the task will score 2. Then the learner who demonstrates a limited understanding, retro of interpreted task will score 1. That's the body of the scenario. The remedies we want to see, the ideas we want to see from the learner, the solution that can avert the possibility of Third World War breaking out. We shall look for them under this part of the rubric. That's where we shall score the learner because of the content given. At score 4, score 3, score 2, score 1, the best will be in a descending order, where the highest person will get 4 who has done the best, then 3, a 2, a 1. The person who will get 4 will clearly demonstrate comprehensive understanding of the task with relevant ideas on how a Third World War can be avoided with relevant examples. The learner who will score 3 will demonstrate a general understanding of the task with relevant ideas about remedies that can stop the Third World War, but with unrelated examples. Score 2, the learner addresses the task with ideas not fully explained on the remedies that can stop the outbreak of the Third World War. Score 1, the learner attempts to address the task, but with unclear or not connected explanations on how the possibility of Third World War can be stopped. So marks will be awarded, scores will be awarded according to that order and abilities of the learner to show competences in solving the contextualized world challenge that we are facing today in Asia and Europe. Part 3 of rubric, making informed judgments. Under this, the learner will use acquired knowledge to form an informed opinion or conclusion of the judgment. The learner concludes by summarizing the possible remedies possible remedies to avert the outbreak of the Third World War. Then clearly emphasize that lessons from 19th century revolution can help to stop the outbreak of the Third World War. What they learned in previous topics, French Revolution, 1848 Revolution, the Eastern Question, all that can help in generating the ideas, generating the lessons which learner can use to provide solutions that can avert the possibility for the outbreak of the Third World War. Score 4 a learner forms an opinion conclusion that is highly informed and well reasoned, based on comprehensive understanding and application of knowledge, with insightful lessons given on remedies that can stop the outbreak of the Third World War. Then score 3, a learner forms opinion conclusion that is clear, logical, and supported by relevant evidence, with clear lessons on the remedies that can stop the outbreak of Third World War. Score 2, the learner forms fair opinion conclusions that is based on knowledge and few historical lessons. The learner lacks adequate depth about remedies for the outbreak of the Third World War. Then score 1, a learner forms weak opinion conclusions that shows limited use of knowledge, reasoning with minimal or no lessons learned about the remedies that can stop the outbreak of the Third World War. The learner for score 1 is generally very weak, and that's why we are saying the rubric scores are allocated in descending order. The best will get 4. The third one, who is good, will score 3. Then the fair one, 2. Then the poor one will score 1. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on Register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts. Once logged in, you will have access to the downloadable materials and interactive content. The NCDC e-learning platform is designed to make curriculum access easier, faster, and more flexible for learners, teachers, and stakeholders across Uganda. By integrating technology into the curriculum delivery, NCDC is expanding access to quality education beyond the traditional classroom. Flexible, accessible, future-focused. Behind every curriculum-related document lies the expertise of our print and production unit. The unit operates a state-of-the-art printing press capable of delivering high-quality printing and publishing services. By producing materials in-house, NCDC reduces costs and strengthens institutional sustainability while ensuring timely availability of curriculum resources. We print all curriculum-related materials, including textbooks, readers, and teachers' guides, supporting effective implementation across the education sector. Beyond curriculum materials, the unit also provides commercial printing services to the public, guaranteeing high quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Our services include posters and banners, flyers and brochures, branded letterheads, stickers and labels, and much more. With precision, efficiency, and professionalism, the print and the production unit brings ideas to life in print. Did you know that some of the science equipment used in Ugandan schools is designed and produced right here at the National Curriculum Development Center, NCDC? We strengthen the practical teaching of science and technology across Uganda's education system by designing and producing local science and technology equipment using locally available materials whenever possible. This approach makes practical learning affordable, accessible, and sustainable for schools across the country. Science equipment requires maintenance. STEP provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. Learning science should never stop due to broken equipment. STEPD provides repair and servicing support to institutions to ensure laboratories remain functional and effective. The department also conducts in-service training for science teachers and technicians. They are trained in proper operation, safe handling, servicing and repair, safe storage of equipment. Empowering teachers means empowering learners. STEP carries out research and development in educational equipment design to ensure that Ugandan students gain access to relevant, appropriate, and practical science skills. Innovation begins with hands-on experience.
Hello, listeners. Thank you for your questions. Question 1 says, do we have continuous assessment for history? We don't have continuous assessment, but we have activities of integration. Just as it is at lower secondary, at A level when you finish a chapter, we expect you to test the learners using our set modality of activity of integration, where you set a scenario relevant to the completed learning outcomes in the topic and learners respond to them. We don't have, the records will be made at school level, but we don't submit to UNEP. So we don't have CA in history. Did you say no questions is compulsory? Yes. I said our questions are optional. They are of equal weight. There are 4 in each examination paper. A learner will do 2 using 2 and 20 minutes. 20 minutes for studying the paper, then 2 hours for answering the 2 questions. Then the third question, how will each paper contribute to the final mark? Yeah, we are building assessment modalities. The planning so far that we have is an average will be done. The score for history unit 1, African history since 1800, and the score for history unit 2, World Affairs history since 1789. The 2 results will be added together, divided by 2, and get a score mark for the learner at UNEB level. That is our thinking so far. Thank you for attending my presentation. Thank you for your questions. Otherwise, we need to do a lot as historians, and we check the dwindling numbers of our students in senior 5 and 6. Compared to sciences during our time, where physics we are 15 and history we are 70, it's now reverse. Why that is like that, I leave it for you to answer. Market our subject, it's a reading subject. Let us maintain this glorious subject the way it has been from the history of education in Uganda. Teach well, follow the syllabus the way it is from NCDC, do assessment the way it's supposed to be, guide and counsel, tell them the rationale of this subject and where they are ending at the conclusion of S6 when they score well in history. Thank you so much for listening.
Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on Register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts.
So members, we have come to the end of our very first session today, where we are looking at the local languages, agriculture, and then history. We are going to take a break, then we'll be returning at 2 with entrepreneurship, subsidiary math, and then FN. There are some questions which are coming in, which are arising from the previous presentations. Like someone is asking here that, why are we using a rubric? Someone is asking why a score of 4 to 1. Some of these questions, dear members, have earlier been responded to. You can go to our YouTube channel, NCDC UG, and then check the very first presentation in this series of assessment guidelines for advanced secondary curriculum. You'll find a presentation, the very first presentation, which was done by the manager. It is really explaining most of these cross-cutting issues. There is another question someone has asked about how the final score will be coming from the different papers. The manager earlier explained that by saying that every paper you'll find that it is having the constructs it is assessing. So these constructs will have descriptions on the final mark. If, let's say, in history or physics, we have come up with a B or an A at the very end, a description from every paper for every construct will be indicated. So I encourage you members, go back to that very first presentation. Most of these questions which are cutting across subjects will be answered. Thank you so much. We take a break.
Welcome to the National Curriculum Development Center e-learning center platform, your digital gateway to curriculum resources and support. This platform provides access to approved curriculum materials, digital content, teacher support resources, and guidance on the curriculum implementation, all in one place. In this short walkthrough, we will show you how to navigate platform and access learning materials. Step 1. Visit the NCDC website on www.ncdc.go.ug. Step 2. Click on the e-learning platform. Step 3. Click on Register to create an account or log in if you already have one. You can also use the guest account, which does not require login. Step 4. Simply enter your details and follow the prompts. Once logged in, you will have access to the downloadable materials and interactive content. The NCDC e-learning platform is designed to make curriculum access easier, faster, and more flexible for learners, teachers, and stakeholders across Uganda. By integrating technology into the curriculum delivery, NCDC is expanding access to quality education beyond the traditional classroom. Flexible, accessible, future-focused.